Hello, my friends. It's Andy Falco Jimenez coming to you live from Yorba Linda, California for the Andy Falco Show. And I know this is a little bit late notice. Like you have about an hour and 15 minutes to get there. But tonight is a school board meeting at 6 o'clock. Sorry, I've been under the weather a little bit today. And then we had to register, kids in high school today and a whole bunch of other shenanigans. So again, at 6 o'clock, drop everything, get dressed. Don't bother to take a shower. Just wipe your face. Go to the school board meeting. There's going to be a lot of visitors from the local retirement home of teachers that will be there that are all representatives of the teachers union. Now, a number of them say, we're not part of the teachers union, you nipkin poop. And which I've seen on Nextdoor, Yorba Linda Moms, PYL, what is it again? PYL something. I get these screenshots all the time where people are screaming and yelling, we're not part of the teachers union. However, they hang around only with the same, 5 to 10 people that are decrepit old people that have apparently nothing else to do but to diminish the majority school board members, the superintendent, his executive staff, and just say that they're horrible, incompetent, horrible people. When in fact, for the first time in PYLUSD history, we have had a number of amazing things happening between the Orange County School of Computer Sciences, the USI, to preschools, to a classroom that once held 4 classes in it with no walls in between the 4 classes. And now there's walls between the 4 classes. What a concept of making sure that one class has its own little private area. So, the teacher can talk to the students. Over at over at Fairmont, they had 4 classrooms in one building with no walls in between where the teachers were talking over each other. We have, besides the Universal Sports Institute. We have an equestrian program that's coming. We have, sports in middle school, which we haven't had in many years. They're going to be able to broadcast the school board meeting live because Leander Blades made sure that we had cameras and audio so that people that could not make it to the school board meetings, that's no excuse for you not to get there, but make sure you get there to the night school board meeting so you can see the shenanigans. What I love to see in these private groups where people send me screenshots, and no, I'll say it once again, just because I feel like I should, that I've never logged into Yorba Linda Moms. My wife, who got kicked out of Yorba Linda Moms just simply because she's my wife, never showed me what her login credentials were. I don't even know. She didn't even really know that she was in the group, by the way, but or she had forgotten that she had signed up for it when she moved to Yorba Linda. They immediately booted her out along with 50, 60 other moms who, when they disagree with Bonnie Conte or whoever else that's for teachers unions, and the nonsense of CRT and the pornography in the schools, to what have you, with the other nonsense that's been going on. If you don't agree with them that you should castrate little boys against the parents' wishes, that should be okay. That's what they think in Yorba Linda Moms. Bonnie Conte makes sure that if you disagree with that she kicks you out immediately. And so these private groups somehow have connected with the teachers union and make sure that the voices that are trying to spread truth and stay away from the lies that, a couple of the lies are that, hundreds of teachers are being fired, to 25 school administrators have been fired, which none of that is true. We are the only school district in the area who's not had to fire teachers. Because enrollment currently is up. It was 400. Now I believe it's 470 in the positive, where every other school around us is in the negative or losing hundreds of students. The school district around us are also having to fire teachers because of the enrollment droppage in their school districts and the loss of money and everything else that goes along with not having enrollment. And so it's just every other district around us is imperiled, where instead PYLUSD is thriving. with all the great ideas that are coming through. So, like I said, there's a school board meeting tonight. Make sure you're there to see all the nonsense. You will see a contrast between the competence and brilliance of Dr. Alex Cherniss and the majority school board members of Leander Blades, Todd Frazier, and Sean Youngblood, up against the contrast of everybody else, which is so easy because they love to come in and say, it's chaos, there's a purge, hundreds of people are leaving and all this kind of stuff. And, let me give you an example of one of the things that I can share with you right now is this post that went out on Yorba Linda Moms. And it is from Cambria McConnell Unger, which this isn't the bad part. This is sad because I also believe that it's not true. And that is, there's a lot of concern on here about our teachers' mental health lately. So I wanted to suggest that we all do our best to shower the teachers and principals, counselors, and office staff with love. The first week of school comes up, bring them Starbucks, and then it says Seymour. I don't know what was following that, but it is fine if you want to say, hey, a new school year is coming. There's some maybe some anxiousness, maybe there's some excitement, and to kind of help the teachers through these few exciting days as they begin a new school year with not knowing what kind of kids they're going to have and all that kind of stuff is, bring them a gift and just, let's just make this a happy occasion of the beginning of school. But no, this particular woman wants to say that there's mental health issues. Which I find a problem. I do not want my children going to a school where my teacher is struggling with mental health. That is not good. But the real part of this is down here in Janice Lim. Down here, she says, I absolutely love this post before school ended. I heard from many teachers that are terrified, in all caps, terrified. Terrified of what? I've mentioned this before because this isn't the first time I've heard such a thing. But what do they think, that Leander Blades is up in a palm tree with a AR-15, and as they get out of the car and walk into school, that they're going to be shot? I don't understand. What are they terrified about? I've never gotten an answer. I've asked, explain to me what it is that teachers are terrified about. Let me just give you a little context. What terrified means is extremely frightened, thrown into a state of intense fear or desperation. So these teachers, apparently, according to, oh my gosh, what's her name again? Janice Lynn, they're terrified. Now, I have not had, and I know a lot of teachers. I know a lot of principals. I know vice principals. And I saw a bunch today as we were registering our kids. And not one of them came to me and said, oh my gosh, I'm so terrified. Hold my hand. I'm so afraid of Todd Frazier. Oh my gosh, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. I have yet to understand what it is they're terrified. Not in one of these posts have I seen anybody go, they're terrified because they're afraid that they're going to get hit by a car as they're getting out of their car to walk up to the campus. Or they're afraid that their students are going to suddenly all pull out guns and shoot them. I don't know what the terrified is. What's even worse, you have Bonnie Conti, who is running Yorba Linda Moms. Janice Lim, I heard the same from teachers I know personally. Okay, who are these teachers? If the mental health problem with teachers are so bad that every day they're going in terrified, then I think you have a duty to talk to somebody and say, hey, I just heard from a teacher. They are so frightened that they're hiding underneath their bed or their desk, their bed at home or a desk in school, because they are terrified. I'm concerned that these ladies know something that nobody else is sharing. I've never heard any of the principals that I know say, hey, I've heard a bunch of teachers that are terrified of X. Now, nobody can really be terrified of being fired. I don't believe that. So it can't be that they're concerned they're going to be fired. Number one, nobody's been fired. Teachers that I think should be fired were not fired. Principals that I think that should have been fired were not fired. And so nobody's getting fired. So it can't be because, I mean, again, I don't believe that anybody is terrified of being fired. I just don't. I don't believe it. I was a police officer for decades, and I never went to work terrified, and I got shot at. I fought with people who tried to take my head off and try to slit my throat. But I never went to work terrified. I didn't go, I'm not ever getting back in my police car again. No, I left that call that somebody tried to kill me and went back into the car and answered the next call to the next robbery or to the next carjacking or rape or what have you that I had to go to. I don't know that any police officer. Now, there were police officers who decided that, you know what, I'm tired of seeing all the blood. I'm tired of seeing people's heads cut off and people hit by trains or, a whole family, taken out in a traffic accident. And I've seen police officers say, you know what, that's just not, I'm not built for this. But they never said they were terrified. Terrified is a mental health issue. And I'm really concerned about what it is that, Bonnie Conte and that's Cambria, talked about the mental health issue of teachers. And I'm really concerned that she believes that there's some mental health problems with teachers at PYLUSD, and that Janice Lim believed that she's heard from people that are terrified. And Bonnie Conte also knows of several, apparently. And how you can keep this a secret, how this is a problem. So it can't be that they think they're going to be fired. Like how can you be terrified of being fired? You can be angry. You can say, you know what, I'd rather not get fired, but there's plenty of other schools that will hire you. Look at Joey Jones got another job, and he was the worst principal, the most incompetent principal that we had, and he found another job. And so I don't know how you obviously can't be terrified, because there's many schools that will take some of the worst teachers. And so that can't be it. So I'm really asking the question, if somebody could send me a message, I don't know if anybody that's watching can tell me what it is they're terrified from or of, that I would really, really like to know, because that is really a strong statement coming from Bonnie Conte, who, kicks people out and calls people names. I saw a text message she sent somebody where she cussed them out because the woman simply didn't agree with her stance on one of the subjects. I think that Leandra is a horrible person, but she's not. And so they kicked her out, and then Bonnie cusses the woman out in a text message, which is really interesting. I'm not sure what that is, but I really do want to understand what it is that they're hearing from teachers that, again, nobody else seems to be hearing. I've asked principals, I've asked the trustees, I've asked other teachers, do you know teachers that are terrified? And they go, no, I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't know anybody that's terrified. They come to school, everybody gets out of the car, they gather their stuff, they say hi to everybody, they have smiles on it. Nobody looks terrified when they come to work. And nobody appears, at least right now, seems to have any mental health problems. Now, in law enforcement, whenever we saw a fellow police officer who we felt was suffering from mental health problems, we took action and we talked to them about it. I remember taking a couple of friends of mine that were police officers and saying, you know what, let's go meet for coffee and let's talk and see what's going on. And then from that conversation, I would take steps, either contacting a supervisor or, taking them myself to see the department psychiatrist or even the pastors that are on duty at our police station. So there's a number of things you can do, but none of those things are happening as far as I have heard. Now, again, I'm not going to hear of a medical issue with somebody or anything like that. But again, there's not even any rumors necessarily, other than from these three people, that the teachers are suffering from mental health issues and they're terrified to go to work. But again, nobody else seems to see this or heard this. It's just only Bonnie Conte and this Lim lady who apparently thinks that there's some issues with women that are, it doesn't have to be women, it can be men that are terrified about going to work. Let's just really quickly talk about what it is that you're going to hear at the school board meeting tonight when you go there. And that is, you're going to have a number of people that are going to be for, and these are the teachers union hacks, the CTA, and the progressives, which are APLE, of course. And that is they really want to go back in time to when every child was struggling at PYLUSD and the grades were going down, which right now they've turned around. I saw a report the other day that they're up by 3% from previous years. So they want to go back. You're going to hear these people get up to the podium and say, we want CRT back. We don't think parents should have a right to know what's going on with their kids at the school. We love gender confusion and we want to make it worse. We want pornography in libraries. No, those other people want to burn books. They want to burn the Hustlers and the Penthouse magazines. We want those in our libraries and we want them at homes. That's who's going to get there. DEI, and we want more hate. We hate conservatives. We hate Christians. We hate anybody that doesn't agree with us. So we kick them off our platform. So we want more hate. And we just can't stand this education thing that's going on over at Orange County School of Computer Sciences. And we just can't have that. And then on the other side, with Dr. Alex Cherniss and the majority board, they're looking at parent partnerships, education, sports and arts, and increasing those. And then they want kids to go out into their future with a great, what is it? Not a platform, but a great foundation out of PYLUSD that will send them out to the world with things that will get them through college, university. If they choose not to go to college, university, that'll get them through the first days of some type of trade or some type of job that they may go into. And they want to make sure that with the arts and the sports and education and the partnering with parents and making sure they know everything about what's happening with their kids, that together we can send kids out into the future to where they'll be fantastic, and they will be taking us into the future because of everything that they were able to learn at PYLUSD. Not the other nonsense that I shared with you. All that other stuff as anti-education, and we don't want any of that. So make sure and look tonight when you see the people, you'll be able to identify them immediately when they open their mouth. If they're in that circle of CRT, or they hate the fact that parents want to be notified, or they they'll say they want to burn books and that kind of stuff. You'll know that they're with the CT and the progressives when they're talking about anything about education, sports, arts, future, parent partnerships. Then they are really for kids and for families. And we'll put kids first when it comes to that kind of stuff. Hello, Coco. Nice to see you. Great chart. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so make sure and look for those people. I have a whole list of accomplishments. I won't go through all of them, but these are just some of the things that over the summer and towards the end of the last school year that Dr. Alex Cherniss was putting into place, whether it was for increasing the number of preschools, to adding an SRO to Esperanza, which was Anaheim, needed to add a SRO, to the Universal Sports Institute, USI, to fentanyl awareness programs, to a whole number of other things. Just so many things. Bringing overnight science camp to every elementary school. There's so many things. If the teachers union was actually for teachers and for education, there would be none of the lies going on. None of them. None of the lies about hundreds of teachers being fired, which is not happening. None of the lies about all the principals and staff being fired, which again is not happening. Only one a principal that I know of, his contract was not renewed because of nonsense. None of those things are happening. The teachers union hacks, including the three people that are running for school board under the arms or the auspices of teachers union, which is Marilyn Anderson, Misty Jansen, and Tricia Quintero. They are teachers union represented, that they want you to believe that this chaos is happening. They want you to believe that there is a purge of personnel. They want you to believe that that the money is being misused and mismanaged by Dr. Alex Cherniss and his executive staff. They want you to believe all these things that are simply not happening. Absolutely not happening. They want you to believe that there's no transparency, when again, I've been in this district for 20 years with my kids. For 20 years, they were never transparent. They hid so much money, hundreds of thousands of dollars they hid from not only the community, but from the trustees, so that they could use it to give the superintendents raises. You had personnel that were selling access to the batting cages over at Esperanza and Yorba Linda High School and keeping the money for themselves. You had a principal who was getting his cars worked on and not telling anybody about it by the automotive classes that they had there, having his brakes fixed and a whole number of other things. You had so much corruption going on, which is lack of transparency, because what was happening is the principals knew a lot of the stuff was happening. Superintendents knew these things were happening and never said anything. They hid it. And that's what was happening. That's what you call not transparent. There is nothing happening at PYLUSD currently under the executive staff that we have now that you cannot find out about. That if there's anything happening and anything that is in the form of theft or misuse of money would not be identified quickly and brought out to the attention of the trustees or the superintendents, that's the kind of environment we have now, that it's all being rooted out. There still may be some stuff going on that hasn't been caught yet, but it will be caught. And the people that are doing it will be, I'm sure, prosecuted if it's something illegal. So again, these folks that are going to come up to the podium, they're going to come up and say, we want to go back to the way it was. We got to go back with these, just the dumbest people between Elsasser and Matthews and so many of the trustees that were in place before Leander and got voted in. And so we do definitely not want to go back there. We have so much transparency. You have websites that have so much information on that we've never had before. You have these weekly letters that come out from Dr. Alex Cherniss. We have an event coming up where it's going to be the state of the district, where he's going to explain everything that's happening and how it works and where the money is going. We have what's his name? Gary Stein, Mr. Gary Stein, who comes up and gives a complete budget of where money is being used and how it's being allocated and what programs certain money can be used for and what it cannot be used for. And he does that right out in the open with everybody. People ask questions and ask where the money's going and how it can be used, and he answers them right away. And it is just amazing what can be done when you put some really good people in positions of power and leadership, which we have done now. And so that's what you're going to find at the school board meeting. You'll see the huge contrast between members of the teachers unions who hate progress, hate education, hate parents, who are going to get up there and just lie through their teeth. And then you'll have the calm and amazing progress that is actually being made at PYLUSD. Unfortunately, I will not be there tonight. My wife and I both caught a bug while we were on vacation over the weekend. And right now I am actually, and this sounds gross, but I'm sweating, breaking the fever, I think. And so it would probably not be good if I went down to the school board meeting and spread that with all the great folks that are going to be there. But make sure you're there. I'm not there because I don't want to get you sick. So make sure that you go tonight and represent. And if you've never been to a school board meeting, you need to go. And if you can't, if you can, I want you to go. Don't not go just because maybe you're going to miss dinner or because you're tired. No, you need to go because you're just going to sit there in the chair. You're going to listen. You're going to pay attention. You're going to see what actually happens at a school board meeting. But if you can't be there, and thanks to Leander Blades only, nobody else, not Marilyn Anderson or anybody else. Thanks to Leander Blades, you can watch it live because they will be live streaming it from the district website. So go to the district website, go to school board meeting, and then you'll be able. There'll be a selection there in the drop down menu for watch live, and you just click on that, and you'll be able to watch the school board meeting live. But again, if you can go. If you absolutely cannot, like me, because you're sick or something, you have a good excuse, then watch live and make sure and do that. All right, my friends? All right, so that's it for this particular report. I wanted to come on and just remind everybody that there was a school board meeting, and I wanted to find out if anybody knows any of these teachers that are simply terrified out of their wits because they're afraid I don't know what they could be terrified of. If anybody knows, let me know. Again, it can't be because they think they're going to be fired, because that's not that big of a deal. But I want to know what they're terrified of, and I just want to address that. I want to make sure that there's not something slipping through the cracks that I don't know that's happening at PYLUSD. All right, my friends. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. I'm looking forward to the school board meeting. I can't wait to hear all the amazing things that Dr. Alex Cherniss has done and is doing and is going to be doing in the future. All right, my friends, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.